Hello, Align fam. It's been 3 years since we've had Taylor on the episode, but now obviously life has happened to her, and we have another beautiful person part of our fam now. So, Taylor and Colton, first want to welcome you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for those of you that are not as familiar, didn't see the episode with Taylor about almost 3 years ago, first is Taylor. I know I've said this to you before, but I'm truly so proud of you because a couple of years ago, with 2019, about 6 years ago, we met at a family office conference. You were in
Mhm.
real estate, running around fundraising with me, completely not a fit for you. And you were like, I can't do this anymore. And you found something that you actually are good at, you enjoy doing, and you built a beautiful life for you. So I think I want to first start there and say, I'm so, so proud of you.
Thank you.
You deserve
Yes.
Proud of you too with the line and everything you're doing. It's like, not to sound cheesy, but more in alignment with how you approach
Yeah.
business. It's really cool to watch.
I look at us grown
I
up, blown
know.
up. And at the time, you were doing really well. You were making good money, right? But now, since then, you've more than doubled. So I think today I really want to talk about a topic where oftentimes people have this taboo idea that you should never mix business with pleasure. And I was one of those. And I was like, oh, you don't want to shit where you eat, right? But there's
Yeah.
so many beautiful love stories and businesses and careers that have been possible because of love. So I think first is anyone that knows you or has like followed you on social media, you went from single, oh my God, like I would love to go to the live experience, love to meet some people. Boom, you meet Colton. And next thing you know, you were married. So it was actually the first time I met you, Colton. I'm like, okay, I guess you're husband now. So I want to start there to be like, tell us a little bit about how you guys met and how Taylor and Colton, you individually knew each other were the one.
Yeah, we met at something very cool. It's called Bridge Extreme Leadership. It's run by Preston Smiles and Alexi Panos. Both of them are fantastic. But it's a somatic workshops. You do a lot of somatic work and healing. And we did 5 full days of it together
Mhm.
in the same room. We didn't actually talk most of the first weekend, but we got to watch each other get really messy. And we kind of talked a little bit the week between, like, are we going back for weekend two? And thank God we did.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it was interesting because by the time we had our first date, we knew all of each other's like deep, dark, scary shit.
Yep. The skeletons in the closet, the shadows. You're like, I'll wait till they like me, really, to before I kind of show
Get this
this.
messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that was all before the first date.
Yeah. And it's funny when I came home to Colorado, I told my family before I came back, I was like, I met my husband. And so they were like, let's go to lunch because there was, I think, immediate concern. I told my sister, basically my sister, who is a therapist, a psychiatrist, she's both. And I was like, yeah, we did 5 days of somatic work together. And she goes, oh, so you've been dating for 2 years. Like
Mm.
that is intense.
Yeah.
So that's how we met. And I told him after our first date, I thought he was it. I was like, I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong.
Well, like we
And
were
then he
at
was
the end of the
right.
first date. It's like, well, we have a flight in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Like each of us are, she's flying back to LA. I'm flying back to the Front Range in Colorado. And I was like, this isn't gonna work for me. Like, I don't want this to stop. This is not our last time together. Like,
Yeah.
I want to
What do you
make
want to
this a
do
thing.
on Monday?
Yeah. And that spare any details, she drove me to the airport and
I love
and
it.
Yeah.
since then it's been the ground running. We spent time in both places. Taylor's job was more mobile at the time. If you can hear the storm in the background, we're
Yeah.
a
No.
picture place. But yeah, then I went back to LA to kind of try and see and I was the hardest no I could ever give
He
someone.
does not like LA.
I
You would have if I
pushed it.
pushed it. But I'm from Denver. So he was living like 20 minutes from my mom and my brother and my uncle and my nephew. Like it was such an easy, and you know this, Jess, like my job doesn't require me to be anywhere.
Mhm.
At the time, Colton was in high-end restaurants running them. Um, you can go into that if you want. Like he ran, worked at the Little Nell and their did their food and beverage program, and that's like a very nice place in Aspen.
Girl,
And
I've been there. Don't you worry.
I
Okay.
know
We've
you
all
have.
been there. You're good. You're good.
You work in finance.
We good.
So lots of people that watch your podcast probably have met Colton before.
Yeah.
We ate there. We
Um,
drank
Yep.
there. We drank way too much there. Yes. All the
yeah,
above.
that's good to know. He was running. He was GMing at a steakhouse in Denver called Garden Grace. So he really couldn't move at the time, and
Yeah.
I
Vacation.
didn't want to be away from. I think the first time I was supposed to be gone, it was supposed to be like 2 weeks apart, and it ended up being like 5 days because I didn't want to be away from you for that long.
Yeah.
It was rough. So it just got to the point where I was like, yeah, I'd kind of burned out on LA anyway.
Yeah.
I had been thinking about moving to like San Diego or somewhere else, or just toying with that idea anyway. And so it was like, okay, well, that's my husband, so I'll just move back to
Yeah.
Colorado.
And this is all like, it's all fairy tale-esque when we tell it like this, right? But it doesn't mean that there weren't really difficult pieces and junctures that
Yeah.
brought tears and long conversations and like this, like our
Yeah.
marriage now and being together in a relationship is quicker, but dude, it's not like we just had a steeper climb.
Right.
That's like there were definitely plenty of
Yeah.
mess that we had to sort
Yeah.
we have this thing where it's like have the fight, like say the thing, have the fight. Like
Mhm.
we are not always like cheery, lovey-dovey people with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a big piece of why it's okay. Because like she is totally confident and happy in saying something that could really potentially rile me up.
Because it's
But
safe.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's safe. And I feel like every time that we do have a hard conversation, which I would only classify like 2 hours like a fight. I don't know.
Even though it's like hard to say.
It's like hard to say it's a fight. It's like where we feel differently about something and it causes like emotions. But every time that we can just say the thing and then we get to the other side of it, it increases the safety to do that again. Like I used to just break down and cry as soon as we disagree on something. And like
Yeah.
now it's like, oh no, it's safe to like, no, nothing's going away. It's everything's fine.
Well, it's like that, and like your intimacy reaches another
Yeah.
depth. Like you
Yeah.
not only like emotionally and just being like, damn, like I really have got someone on my team, and like other stuff.
Yeah.
100%. Oh my God. I love the fact that you guys met at an experience. I think that's why when you guys were telling the story, I was having visions about like when I host the Align experience. I think why it works so well when you have these honest conversations, like you get to see someone for who they really are immediately, right? And again, it has to be like created into a safe space. I'm sure like the facilitators did a great job where they had the right prompts, the right exercises, the right people to be there, right? But I think the most important thing is you guys feel comfortable enough to open up and you get to see the deeper, the true inside of each other. So to your point, right? Like your sister's right. It was basically you got to know each other in 2 years because all the right questions, all the right topics, right? And like the safe space you're creating just by your energy, like physically being there, embodying like peace. The other thing that you mentioned, I thought was funny. I think there's this taboo thing of like, oh, you need to wait to be like physically intimate and blah blah. When you know it's your person and there's this I'm really against like, oh, you gotta force it to make it like someone wait. If you feel it and it feels right, but there's no like, how do you say this? There's no like, oh my God, I want to be like so devastated if he never calls back. If you're not attached to the outcome, but it feels right, go for it.
Yeah, all of our anniversaries are on the same day.
I love it. I love that. And I think to your point, like as you guys open and communicate, talk more and more, one thing I don't want to get too into detail, but one thing that we're going to do at the next line experience is all the men honestly share with women what they wish they honestly knew. They wish women honestly knew about them. And us women honestly share what we wish men understood about us. And you see how like there's never a space. Like you'll bitch to your guy friends. We'll complain to your girls. it's really rare when we have those conversations. So I think it's beautiful that you guys got into that space so quickly. And then also like you leaped, right? Like after the somatic work, like you start to trust your body and say like, this feels right. Fuck logic. Fuck everyone else who says like we're crazy. You know what's real because you're aligned with how you really feel. So I think that's beautiful. With that said, I do want to dive right into it in terms of like the business side of things, right? So talk to me about like the benefits of joys of working with your life partner. And Taylor did sweetly when we were catching up really quickly last week or 2 weeks ago, how she just honestly feels so lucky because you're like a best friend she never gets sick of. Like she gets to work with you, but you guys, I don't want to share all of it. You guys have a very good system where it's like there's work Colton and then there's like husband Colton. So would love to hear some of the benefits of joys of you guys working together. What surprised you about working with your life partner?
You want to go?
I feel like you want to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's like a couple of things. One is like as me being in leadership positions for a long time, you have this idea that you have to be right. You have to know everything. You have to be the expert. And you need to carry yourself in a certain way that makes you implacable, that it like doesn't allow for people to throw darts and tear you down. And the thing is, what was great is Taylor is the best in the world at what she does. She is. And so like I don't have to do that. I don't have to be as good as her. I can leave that creative space, like this whole explosion of the galaxy and chaos, and just make sure it has a focus. Right? Like, that's my job. It's not to come up with these great ideas that strike the internet and
You do that.
change sometimes, but what's your coaching? But it has become more so of like, and it's this understanding more in depth of me. It's like, oh, like my job is to create a container and a focus. Like, let me take all data, let me kind of control emotion in a masculine way that allows this explosion of ideas to be focused in a direction that propels forward at a consistent pace and that's able to be consistent. So just I guess to quickly sum it up, it's like one like a lot of humility because as a guy going into this, there's this role that we think that we're the provider.
Yeah.
Taylor made a lot more money than me. And I was like, okay, it didn't really bother me, but like there were parts along the journey that got to, oh wow, I feel like I have to be doing more to be equal. And instead it's like, no, I just have to have a respectful impact and not like is my come from, am I in alignment with what my work is? Or am I trying to judge myself against her? Or is it because I think she deserves something or I deserve to be in the spotlight? Or all these things had to get kind of flushed out.
Yeah.
To feel them out and talk them out. And then finally you veer into this great lane of, oh, this is what works.
Yeah.
Like I love a lot of coaches and different people. Simon Sinek is one of my favorite. But he has this thing like greatness happens whenever a creative mind meets someone who can get shit done.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. Like,
I love it. By the way, has anyone told you you kind of sound like him?
no, thank you.
You do. It's actually crazy. I don't know if it's just you'll see it once we release it, but I'm like, oh my God, like I've definitely never seen you before, but I'm like, why does he sound familiar? And when you said Simon, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, you'll hear it back and be like, wait a minute, that does kind of sound like him. Anyways.
He has that
That's very
like
kind.
optimistic
Thank
energy
you.
in his delivery of things.
Yeah, which is
like in the beginning when there was sort of I didn't really until we talked about know like what you were wrestling, I would get frustrated because I'd be like, why are you trying to wrestle this part out of my hands? Like this is the part I'm really good at.
yeah.
And there are things I'm not good at that as soon as he took over, the business started to expand and grow. And like, yes, we are at above a 2x of the last time I was on this, but in between that and when we met, it had dipped. Like it had dipped a lot. It had dipped by over half, I think. And I was in a kind of a burnout cycle where I would like have the big creative burst and then all of the back end stuff would be there, right? Hey, you need to repurpose it and post it here and do this. And there's a million takedowns. And hey, there's people impersonating you over here that you have to file a bunch of, and I would just shut down and I would disappear for a month at a time. So I would have like a big month and then disappear, and the big month disappear. And so much of the streamlining of it, like he was saying, the masculine stuff, he is also creative and he does have a lot of that. But it's like, I think, yeah, when he first came in, part of the working together was figuring out not necessarily like the division of it, but like the Venn diagram division of it. We're like, we do all this together, and then certain things are cool. Like there'll be people that text me and go, oh, blah, blah, blah about Snapchat. And I'm like, I don't even know how I don't know how to log in. I didn't know how to log into my YouTube. I actually still don't. And he's gotten us to over 1 million subscribers. Because
Right.
yeah, so we're at 1.5 million subscribers and I don't know how to log in. So like, and so once we had that conversation about I've gotten better at like letting go a little bit.
When it's a continued conversation, I think that's like
Yeah.
what a lot of people may think is like it's not one conversation.
Yeah.
It's the ability to have it every day if it's necessary.
And pivot and
And
evolve.
and pivot and evolve and change.
Yeah.
And then like you're gonna be like you're a different person every day.
Yeah.
Emotionally and hormonally more women than men, but just biologically that's what happens. But also like you were like that like trite quote, no man walks through the same river, for neither the man or the water is the same. Like, right? You have to continue to always have the conversations.
Yeah.
And I think like part of our growth, like I don't know what numbers you said before, but I think I know. And it's we're 5 to 7 from that on a repeatable scale. And so like, and I think it on that side of like it's how many times can you argue your side respectfully while also knowing that it's you and me versus the problem,
Yeah.
not you versus me.
Yeah.
And it's like if you can do that 1,000 times, like after 1,000 times, you're pretty darn good.
You get quick to the point. Well, and we get quick to the point now, even too, with like the bottom of what is happening.
Yeah.
Like there'll be times where I'm just like,
But
yeah, like, well, I'm frustrated because I, did this. And I'm like, well, I am not actually voicing how I feel about it. And so when we get to film it, I'm just shutting down. Like, oh, okay, well, let's cut that process short and fix it here. And then it's fine. And then we have, a banger week of content. So we get to the heart of it a lot quicker from the first time we had like a, hey, why are we butting heads right now? And I think it's that too, where you can feel like, hey, this feels a little off. Like, what's going on with you? What's going on with me? Where's the problem at? But it really is us trying to find the thing that's in the way of how it feels when we're great.
Yeah. I love
Because
that.
we know what it feels like too. It's like the princess and the pea sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's lift the mattress and get the pea out. All right, bed's comfy again.
I love that.
It's not like, did you fucking put the pee there? It's not that. It's not like, whose fucking pee is that? It's just, let's just get it out.
Yeah. I love, Colton, how you mentioned, and thank you for sharing that honestly, how as a man, oftentimes you feel like I need to be the protector and provider. And I think in society, we oftentimes have thought that protect and provide it meant physical and money from a man, right? But I think protecting and providing is so much more than that. It's like creating a safety net for her to feel like creative, getting her peace so she can go and do her thing, right? And I think it's to your point, I always think of people as like puzzle pieces, like human puzzle pieces, right? You have to know your edges, like know yourself well to know who would be a good complement. And I think once you both put your egos aside and we're like, hey, I don't need to be the star of the show, or like, I don't need to know how to run every single thing. You just owned your edges, like you own your strength, and you're like, this is how we complement each other. So I think it's beautiful that you guys share that. I just want to highlight that because I feel like oftentimes guys feel like I need to be the one who makes more money. I need to be physically bigger. Oftentimes a woman just truly needs to feel safe. That's what she's looking for. And it's not always just about money or like the physical element of you being like super muscular and a big burly guy, not saying you are or aren't, but like listen, skinny guys out here doing just fine. So I'm glad you, right?
Thank you.
But
you are not a skinny guy. Don't say that. It's not for you.
I like to like I said this to her on the second week there. It's like, dude, you're not a princess in a castle that needs to be saved. Like that's how you are. But like you want someone to like have food ready for you when you come back from war. I got you.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think that's more of what it looks like for like you said, safety. Like safety means that whenever she gets to explode.
Yeah.
But the thing is that explosion comes with these great, beautiful ideas and edges to push in both of us. The thing is, you just got to be able to hold it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have to like I don't have to react. I don't have to take it as the truth.
No.
It doesn't mean that everything there is directed at me. Gosh, there's stuff from mom and dad and kids and everything growing up that gets to be that all comes out at you, and it's like, can I just be the one that doesn't react?
Yeah. I love that.
Like it's not as I don't think it's any bigger than that. It's like,
Yeah.
can you just
He
hold it?
holds space so beautifully that
Mm.
talk about this, like, and he does so much. I mean, it's not just the holding of space, like
Yeah.
even the business between creation and admin, the way that we on a day-to-day shift responsibility or doing things, but like it creates space to where like I know at least for me, I'm creating more content and doing that more consistently than ever
Mhm.
because I have the space to do it. And I know that in like previous chapters of my life, I probably could have been creating more and doing more if I had that safe space, and I just didn't.
Yeah.
Part of that's created internally just with me, but he also like in our partnership creates so much of that.
Yeah.
So, and just the way that he runs the business side of things that
The structure that you naturally don't have if you're
the
creative, right?
masculine side of business in the traditional sense of that.
Yeah,
100%.
we get to scale.
Yeah.
I
And I hope
much
that,
more feminine than I've ever been, ever.
right.
To a fault. I like didn't look both ways before crossing the street the other day because I was like, I was like, you are embarrassed. This is too feminine. We need to scale it back. Look up. I
Right.
got it, but Jesus.
And I hope like Taylor, like your story shows women, right? That you can be really good at what you do and whatever form, but still be very feminine, right? And just because you're really good at what you do and you do financially well for yourself doesn't mean, oh, I'm good. Like there's nothing a man can provide for me. No, there's a lot of shit that you need from a man. So stop pretending like I'm this independent. I don't, no. For those of you that want to be in a healthy relationship, like I think oftentimes really successful women think like, well, what else can a man do for me? Or like what you forgot how, sure, you're doing well, but you could be thriving if you had, not just surviving, if you had the right partner who could complement you, right? So I love that. You guys kind of hit upon this, but what are some other best practices when it comes to working with your lover? So you guys mentioned a few things, but anything else that you want to share? I think Taylor, you've hit on how you guys have playtime versus work time. That's a rule that you have clear delineation, but go ahead.
That was his idea.
Okay, tell us, Colton. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So
like,
good.
I love structure,
Great.
like everything in order, like in its place. Excel
Mhm.
is my best friend. I'm a black belt, right? And Taylor's not. And so, and the thing is, like very good trait for me is I like to think that I can fly at 30,000 feet, where I can
Yeah.
kind of I'm looking forward for the business as well as understanding the current patterns that are putting us where we are and where they're leading.
Mhm.
And so we started to see as we picked on more stuff that there were certain things and certain days where we performed better or we argued more. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, we don't love the arguing, especially if it's not necessary. So how do we? And we got to the point where routine is super important. Did some like biohacking research as well as understanding it, but our routine, and we have to get up and do a cortisol spike. Get your spike it up. So coffee, sunlight, movement, cold plunge is like huge for her.
Yeah.
ADD everywhereness. Like
If anyone listening to this has ADD or ADHD, a cold plunge in the morning helps so much. And I don't know the science behind that. I just know that part of how we figured this out was we happened to be staying somewhere that had a cold plunge. And we're like, oh, I think we were there for like 5 days and we did the cold plunge 3 of the days. And on all 3 days, he's like, did you take your
Medicine?
Vyvanse today? And I haven't been on that for almost a year. And I was like, no. And then we put it together like, oh, all 3 days that were good days were like days that started with the cold plunge.
Yeah.
So I don't know the science, but
eating healthy, like
Yeah.
all that stuff helps. I think
yeah.
And like a bit of routine definitely makes a huge difference. And then we put our phones away at 7 o'clock. And if we're not going to, we pre-agree.
Yeah.
Like if the
Hey, are you okay with
conversation,
this?
like this is going to be that way, like, right? Like it's really easy to handle things when you're expecting it.
Yeah.
And so like that is a huge piece of like we plan our days together. We understand what the other's
Mhm.
going to do.
Yeah.
And so whenever it veers from that, sometimes it takes the other to recorrect, so the path is great, or it's just, hey, this has become a priority.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. I can let me go pick up where it needs to be,
Right.
or vice versa.
Right.
Right? Like the ability to like for either of us to understand my most important job is to be able to pick the most important job for today,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? We co-own this company. There are people who are dependent on us. We do a lot of things, and there's a lot of people who are now, their livelihood is dependent on how we go forward.
Hmm.
And so we have to always maintain that perspective with each other, especially. It's like, I am identifying this as a need. Cool. Let me figure out how to you go.
Right.
Attack, like take this energy, take it where it's going, go forth,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I can sweep, we can clean, and vice versa. I'll
Yeah.
take care of the rest. And that is an amazing thing. And I don't think that like people can transition that way without having routine, without exercising, without
Hmm.
cutting off a lot of the nights you have personal connection.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to go too much information, but we have a fantastic sex life.
Yeah.
And so,
We do.
and I think like
It's
I love
important.
it.
I think it's part of it.
right? And I think like
Yeah.
you have to be able to like go into these buckets that we all have. You have to
Yeah.
fill these emotional needs, physical needs,
Yeah.
all these things, and work with each other to do it, and know that if the need takes over, someone's got to have your back to be able to do it. And that's we've really, really been able to handle
Yeah.
total industry changes at
Yeah.
the and being on the
Big
front in front of the
pivots.
curve.
Yeah.
And that's especially in our business, being in front of the curve of a change is what makes us millionaires.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Love that.
And there was a point kind of before we like figured this out of like, A, we have this routine because chances are no 2 days are going to look the same, right? We do have to figure out what's the best for this day. What are the best actions for this day? How are we divvying up this day? So to have the morning routine the same and the night routine, or at least phones away. I think that's a big thing today of people just scrolling. And especially because we work in social media, that creating that hard line was important because like it's easy to lose track of, okay, we're on for work, and now we're just scrolling, and now it's 10 p.m. and now we've just sat next to each other scrolling. We don't know when we stopped working or when it was play. Are we sharing each other memes? Are we not? Like
yeah.
it just got to be too much. So we try to stay off work in the morning through our routine as well. And sometimes, like Colton said, sometimes the priority that day is like there will be days where we've just been working and working and the priority is like, I need a day off. I'm not in it right now. Like if I push myself to be creative, to film, to do that, like right now, it's not going to be at peak performance because I really don't want to fucking do it. And I'm not inspired. I'm not whatever.
Mhm.
And so sometimes it's just going, all right, how do we take all the things from today? Are there any things that have to get done? If there's anything that's not a have to, how do we fit it into the next whatever and who's going to take on what? And then we go take that day together. And whether that's we have fully left town, we have just fucked off to another city.
Got in the plane.
Yeah, we've gotten on a plane. We have done something as simple as like we go get massages and then hole up in our theater and play Mario Party. Like it doesn't matter. But I think the other thing with having those lines and that routine is that that doesn't prevent the burnout at sometimes. It doesn't make it so like every day is so great and squeaky wheels and all things, but it does provide the opportunity or the space to take that time off. And then when we take the recharge together, that's
Mhm.
great for our personal too, even though
Yeah.
it is a recharge from work, even though it is kind of work
Mhm.
created, like recharging together is such a beautiful thing. It's like, oh, this is the person that recharges my battery, even though, yeah, we then go to work the next day and we're also the people that are running each other's batteries out. But I think that's a big part of why it works. I think a lot of people, work together and then they like need a break from
Yeah.
each other to recharge. And if you're hitting that point, I don't, you probably have better advice for that. But I think if you can be in a space where the person that you get tired with is the same person that recharges you, you're in a great spot to work together.
I love that. On the other flip side, this will be the final
Yeah.
question. What are some things couples should consider when they're even thinking about working together? What are some not glamorous things that maybe you haven't touched upon that, hey, here's just real talk. If you're considering it, you should think about these things.
I think like you need to take care of yourself and your family in that order. And so like you may not like your job and you want to go on this venture with your spouse, your partner, and or vice versa, whatever, like, right? And you start to like work your way into it. You have to take into account, well, what allows me to do this the best way possible,
Right.
right? Like not everyone is in a great position to just be like, you know what, I'm going to quit and start doing this. Like it might be 6 months to a year of you saving and battening down the hatches and filling your coffers and making sure that you're in a position to go about it the right way. Also, like, do you have your ways of arguing and feedback loops set up, right? Do you have a great process of difficult conversations?
Yeah.
Like, are you practiced in that? Because they're going to happen. And so like, and do you have your own support system outside of each other? Right? Like, can you go to someone, and that could be just someone on an online therapist. It could, but it could be anyone. But do you have your own personal support system? Because you have to know that sometimes you're going to need to hold things for your partner, and they're going to need to hold things for you. And sometimes you know that that's not for them.
Yeah.
And you have to be self-aware enough to go take that somewhere and not bottle it up either. Because I think that is a pitfall. It's like, well, I'm doing this to my partner. We gotta be these things. It's like you don't have to be anything. You are everything. So make sure that you're allowed in yourself to go be those parts. Um, I think succinctly, that's what I would say, or like really have that conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Nice. Taylor, anything to add?
That was really well put.
My
I don't know
job.
if there's anything necessarily to add. I think that summed up kind of the approach that I would take, and that we took. The way we started working together was really organic too.
It's like stair steps.
Yeah, it stair stepped really beautifully and really organically. And I would say another thing to consider when you're going to work with a partner, I don't know how many people run into this where they're already working in the same field and then they're like, oh, let's do it together. That's probably easier, or, more of a smoother transition of, oh, we already know what we do, and sort of divide and conquer. If you're starting to work with a partner, a spouse, whatever, and it's a field you're not familiar with, or it's your expertise and they're coming in with you, to have really clear, like, hey, we are partners. I'm not the boss, but there is going to be a period where I'm teaching you, or if we come to a head, my experience is going to be the swing vote, where it's not because I'm the boss or because I'm better, but to honor the experience, which you always have and did. But there were some impasses that we'd hit, and there was a level of me needing to let go of control a little bit, of being like, okay, this is my partner. I need to stop, like, I have to make all the decisions, right? Which was hard for me. I didn't know it would be. I've just never run anything to get it. Always been like, this is my thing. And even when I would film with other people, it was like, I called all of the shots. Right. For the most part, not always, but I mean, in general, at least for my videos, primarily, obviously there's some exceptions. I don't want anyone that I've created with to see this and be like, yes, it's very collaborative. And in my business, I had a hard time letting go of some of that. And then even in the way that I would communicate some of it, sometimes he'd be like, we're partners, and I feel like you're talking. And that was something that I just didn't realize I was doing, because all of my employees at that point had been like, you're paid to do a job down here and I will. And so partnership is interesting when you have one person that might have more experience than the other. But the thing is, Colton had experience in things that I had none in, that I just had never even factored into. How does this play into my business?
Yeah.
And now it's like, he'll call shots that I'm like, I don't know, but sure. And then like, we have a video that gets 100 million views and I'm like, all right, well,
I love it.
Okay.
I like to say we dance through it, right? Like
Yeah.
everything's gonna come at you, and it's like you can choose. Are you gonna try and fight it? Are you gonna run away from it? Are you gonna freeze up, or are you gonna take a deep breath, move through it, move with it? Can you kind of just, because it's all gonna come. So
Yeah.
like you choose how you want to approach it. Like it's up
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, I love it. And I think it's also beautiful to hear when Taylor said, like, hey, you gave some ideas that sure, maybe you didn't have as much experience as her in social media, but the transferable skills, Colton, that you've shown, like, hey, you don't need to be in social media for 10 years to be really good at it, right? So hopefully
Yeah.
it gives people comfort to say there's in life, you're picking up skills, and these skills can be applied to many different industries. As long as you have the right team and the right passion and the right reasons for doing it, you'll find a way. And I love how you say you're gliding through it. Um, Love that, guys. Thank you so much. I think my final thing is I just want you guys to say, like, don't think about it. 3 adjectives that come to mind when it comes to working with your love and your partner. Taylor, you want to go first? 3 adjectives.
Sure. Wonderful.
Mm.
What's like the word for like gratitude? I'm so grateful I get to do it.
Thank
That's
you.
not gratitude.
Yeah.
Appreciative.
Appreciative
Okay.
and enriching. It
Okay.
makes work so much better and it means so much more and it's so much cooler, like celebrating wins. It's enriching is probably the top. Yeah.
Love it. Enriching. Okay. And then Colton, how about you? 3.
I'd say it's expansive,
Mm.
adventuresome. Like it is always new every day.
Yeah.
And intimate. Like
I like that. I like how it's expansive and intimate. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Hopefully next time I see you will be in person. And Colton, I'll finally get to meet you in person.
definitely. Thanks,
Yeah, I've never been to Denver. I've only been to Aspen. So when I'm there next, I'm gonna visit you too.
Denver, and then we'll come up to Aspen with you.
Yeah.
Make it
Done.
Easy.
And we'll put a little nail.
Yes.
Perfect. I know a guy.
He does.
Done. Amazing. Thank you guys. See you soon.